Look, I just wish he was real. Oh wait, he is! As I've been looking back at the Pokemon League season of Generation 7, covering the really good fakes to the insane real ones, I've just about said everything I need to say. I obviously don't want to talk about every single piece of fan art that was passed off as a real leak because none of these were believable for longer than 5 minutes. But there is one batch of fan-made starters that did end up having a happy ending. So this all happened during the beginning of 2018. We had just come off of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as well as the Nintendo Switch's first year, so all Pokemon fans had their eyes on the future. At this point it was clear that Generation 8 on the Nintendo Switch was potentially the next game on the horizon. As usual, some images were posted online and gained traction. These depicted supposed starter Pokemon in the form of a grass lemur, a fire rabbit, and a water platypus. After having seen a fair amount of fake leaks by now, most fans in the community didn't expect these to be real, but there was just something about these Pokemon. Of course, it is all meant to look like the concept art that we saw back in Generation 7, but the way that these Pokemon just came to life in the images resonated with a lot of people. The style of these Pokemon had been nailed pretty well. There was also the fact that the Fire Rabbit Pokemon was something fans had been expecting for a while, so much so that the actual starter Pokemon of Generation 8 would actually feature one in Scorbunny. There was also the fact that the Platypus Pokemon was something else fans had been waiting for the longest time, and with this one looking so cute, it was the icing on the cake. On February 21st, Italian artist 50 Shades of Helios came forward and revealed that he had designed these Pokemon, even posting video proof of the actual project files a few days later. And normally this would be where the story ends, but it takes a few more interesting turns. Because these fan designs were so beloved, 50 Shades of Heliolisk drew evolutions for each Pokemon and they all just look so amazing. Still to this day, they're some of my personal favorite fan-made Pokemon. They all had this vibrance to them, maybe a little over-designed, but they continued to capture the Pokemon style while also being something new and unique. As we would later find out on May 29th of that year, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee would be the first Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch. Looking at the eventual sales of these games, that turned out to be the right choice, but a good amount of fans were not happy with the initial announcement, due to revisiting the Kanto region and simplifying the core gameplay. Around the same time, video game studio Crema launched their Kickstarter for a monster collecting RPG, Temtem, touting new creatures, different mechanics, MMO features, and eventual release for the Nintendo Switch. It seemed like the perfect alternative if you weren't happy with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. One of the Kickstarter reward tiers included designing a creature for the game. Streamer and content creator PokeNinja decided to pledge the $6,000 reward tier, and negotiated with 50 Shades of Heliolisk to submit the platypus design. Everything went through, and after a few more years of development, Temtem was finally released. It had been playable on PC and PlayStation for a while, but I personally only followed the initial reveal trailers and the eventual Nintendo Switch release. The point is that in this monster collecting game, a popular fan-made Pokemon design was actually repurposed into a fully playable creature. Platypet was finally real. It even sort of became an unofficial mascot for the game, despite the fact that it wasn't a starter creature and that Temtem already had its own mascot. But by the principle of its internet history and how eye-catching the design actually is, Platypet is the most popular Temtem without exaggeration. I also just want to mention that for the initial console release, there was this animated trailer, and it's just so amazing and it's really well done. And of course there is a little segment featuring Platypet. Things had just come full circle, it was actually in the video games and now was animated as well. And that is just really cool. I personally have played a few hours of Temtem. I really do need to get back to it though when I get the chance, but I always love seeing when fan-made designs get to become something more than just those designs. If you're wondering, the full evolution line is also available in the games as well, though I will say that Platypet definitely stands out from other Temtem. Because the original look was so popular and basically perfect, it was brought over into the game verbatim. And I don't want to say that it clashes with the rest of the creatures in the game, but it's very clear that this was designed as a Pokemon first and foremost. Every other Temtem is pretty cohesive with each other, and there are definitely designs that go a little farther into the Pokemon-esque direction, but for the most part I feel like Platypet looks like it was dropped in from another game. The 2D art that was created for all the creatures looks a lot more uniform and very nice, but you can still tell that a majority of the creature designs have round shapes, contrasting hard edges, which gives them this brush stroke feeling that fits perfectly in the actual visual design of the 3D gameplay. And then there's Platypet, which is mostly round. The eyes are also very big and bright, unlike a lot of the other Temtem that have smaller eyes. And those beautiful 3D environments are where it stands out the most. I mean, there is even another platypus creature called Psypat, and when you put the two next to each other, yeah, I'll take the blue one. Really just an observation though, I'm not saying it's a knock on the game, trust me, there are other issues. I'm just happy that this boy is actually real. The roller coaster of leaks and rumors in Generation 7 to this day is still one of the craziest ups and downs I've experienced as a Pokemon fan. And even though this story in particular has an ending that brings it pretty far away from Pokemon, in fact into a completely different game, it still all feels connected. Though I think it would be really cool if Game Freak actually did accept fan-made designs in some kind of competition or something, because just imagine if Platypet had made it into the main series games, that would just be amazing. Anyway, let me know what you think about our favorite little platypus and what fan-made designs you'd like to see get a similar treatment in the future. And so that was the tale of Platypet. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators, Brandon Mork, Cheeseburger Lasers, Gavnuts, Green Topaz 213, Justin R, Cosmo Zero, Michaela, Quago, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get your name shouted out here as well as access to emotes and comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this has been GatorEX, I'll catch you all later.